Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally doing a full review on the new Terracotta foundation from Guerlain. I've had this for a few weeks now. I've been testing it off and on, and I wanted to get this review up now that the Sephora savings event is live and you can save, 20, 15, 10% off. So we're going to be doing a full review on this foundation today. I have so much to say about it. So in the video, I'm going to be doing a full 12-hour wear test. And of course, I will be doing a 6-hour daylight check-in where I take you guys outside, zoom in close so you guys can see how it's looking, how it's wearing. And then I'll come back later on this evening for my 12-hour check-in. In my 12-hour check-in, I will get into my final thoughts and share all of my experiences that I have had over the last couple weeks of testing the actual foundation. Before we jump into the information, up here on the screen is an image of my age, my skin type, my skin concerns, and what I like and what I dislike in foundation. We all need something different from our complexion products, and I feel like it's important for the audience to know what the person behind the camera likes and dislikes when it comes to foundations and all of that. So I will also list this information down in the description box down below, along with popular foundations out on the market and what shades I wear in those foundations, so you guys can get an idea of my complexion and the shade that I chose. I will also be doing shade swatches of the shade 3.5 Warm, and I will do tons of swatches and comparisons of other foundations next to this one so you guys can see how the shade compares. So let's go ahead and jump into the information. So this foundation retails for $62 and it comes in 30 shades. The shade that I chose is 3.5 Warm, which is described as a medium skin with a golden undertone. You actually get 1.2 ounces worth of product, which is 35 mils. 9 times out of 10, most of our foundations are a fluid ounce, 1 fluid ounce, which is 30 mils. But this one is just a little bit over 1 fluid ounce. The description on this, it is a revolutionary liquid to powder foundation with up to 24 hours of wear, medium coverage, and a no transfer formula for a beautiful, healthy looking glow and luminous matte finish. Because this foundation is being described as a, liquid to powder foundation, up to 24 hours of wear, no transfer, all of that, I decided to do this video without putting on any powder. So right now I have no translucent setting powder or anything on my face. Now this has highlighted ingredients of argan oil that provides lasting comfort and maintains skin hydration up to 24 hours. It also has gem tone, which is a self-adaptable shimmer that helps foundation to adjust to the skin's tone. Now I purchased this foundation on the Sephora website and it is highly rated on the Sephora website. However, on the Sephora website, there are 114 reviews of this foundation. It has a 4.4 out of 5-star and 96% of those who reviewed it recommend it, okay? But something to keep in mind when it comes to products on the Sephora website and many others, but especially Sephora website. When you're looking to purchase products like this and you're looking at the reviews, the one thing that you do want to do while you're looking at the reviews is to click verified purchases. So right now there are 114 reviews. When you click verified purchases, there are only 5 reviews. Out of those 5 reviews, 2 of them have a 1-star and 3 of them have a 5-star. So it's always good to click that verified review because it's not incentivized, meaning that oftentimes when brands are launching new products, they will send out their products to get reviews. Influencer is one of them. I have received products like that and I have given an honest review, and I'm not saying that those who are given this product for reviewing purposes are lying about their review. That's not what I'm saying, but it is nice to see both sides. It's nice to see the verified purchases and the incentivized. So just really keep that in mind, especially when you're buying on the Sephora website. Let's go ahead and jump in the application. I'm going to apply the foundation on camera, sharing how I personally like to apply it. Then we will jump into the 6-hour daylight check-in. And then of course, we will go ahead and get into the swatches and comparisons. I will compare the shade that I have next to others. And then I will come back later on this evening and I will jump into my 12-hour check-in. And in my 12-hour check-in, I will jump into my final thoughts. So let's go ahead and get into it. And I will see you guys all in my final thoughts. Let's go ahead and apply this foundation and start our wear test for the day. So I have this in the shade 3.5 warm, and it is a little bit too dark, like a little bit, but I'm able to make it work. And I have a feeling like once I get into the sun a little bit, it will be a good shade. This is what the shade looks like. And all I have on is just my skincare. So I'm not going to wear any primers with this today. I'm just going to wear my normal skincare that I applied this morning and just go right over top. So I'm going to use the BK Beauty 101 brush, and I also have a sponge handy. I've worn this foundation several times, and like most of my foundations, I prefer to apply an even layer all over the skin with a brush and then push it into the skin with a sponge. I'm going to dip my brush in and grab the tiniest amount, and that's too much. Like, I did that for swatching purposes, but you really don't need very much of this foundation. A little bit goes a really long way. So I'm just going to start kind of buffing this in. And it does have a fragrance. Kind of floral, a little bit. It smells kind of florally, I guess you would say. Yeah, definitely has a fragrance. Now I'm going to go on this side and apply a little bit on this side. Now the pumps on this foundation are quite small, and typically I use like a pump and a half with a brush, and then I'll use the other half of the pump for the sponge to kind of push it into the skin. But like I said, the pumps are really small, which I like it when the pumps are small because I don't like to use an excessive amount of foundation. It seems like the more foundation you use and put on, the worse it wears. So one thing I do like about this foundation is it does have really good coverage. It feels like a serum foundation, but it's really pigmented. So I'm going to grab a little bit here on my sponge. Now I'm going to start kind of pushing it into the skin, just making sure that I have a nice even application. It's not too thick in certain spots and it's pushed in. But I love the coverage of this foundation, and it's pretty immediate coverage. I prefer a medium coverage foundation, and this one provides a nice medium coverage that you don't have to build. So oftentimes, if you have to build up more coverage and keep layering it to build the coverage, oftentimes you'll run the risk of getting too much foundation in that area and it just won't wear good throughout the day. But when you have a foundation that provides nice, even, immediate coverage that blends really good into the skin, you're going to have a better chance of that foundation wearing better. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with the application. Right now it is 10:12 in the morning, and I'm going to jump off of here, finish the rest of my makeup, and I will see you guys in my 6-hour daylight check-in. Okay, everyone, I am back to do a quick midday check-in. I'm sitting outside on my front porch. Right now, it is 5:06. I'm actually about an hour late. I've been busy. My daughter's here, and so we've been chatting, and time just got away from me. But I wanted to pop out here, show you guys how this is looking, and you can tell that I am quite shiny. Now remember, I did not apply any powder because it's a luminous matte foundation, and I wanted you guys to see what this looks like without powder. So let's go ahead and zoom in. So right up here on my forehead, you can tell that I've lost some of the coverage, like right along where I'm, grabbing my bangs and kind of pulling the hair out of my face. So it is one of those, in my personal experience, it's not transfer proof. It's definitely, it's not transfer proof. And I mean, you can see I am very shiny. This foundation for me without powder definitely gets shiny. So this is what it's looking like on this side of the face. I haven't lost a lot of it along like my nose and my lips and stuff, but I'm starting to lose some of it. And then this is what it looks like on this side. Now, the thing is that I kind of feel like this is a foundation that right where I just touched it, you can see I've removed some of it. So that is my experience with this foundation. When I've wore it without powder, I can't touch my face because it will lift from the skin. So it's only been 7 hours, and traditionally for the price that it is, claiming to be a luminous matte, it shouldn't be lifting from the foundation 7 hours in, right? And I'm not oily, so I wouldn't even say I'm combo right now. I'm kind of just normal. So that's something to take note of, but I have a lot to say about this foundation, good and bad. I'm gonna save all of those thoughts for my final thoughts, but for now, I just wanted to pop outside, do my daylight check-in, just so you guys can see what it's actually looking like midday outside in the natural daylight. And for now, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the swatches and the comparisons. And I'm gonna swatch this foundation next to other foundations with and without a flash. I do like to share my swatches and comparisons with and without a flash. So you will see kind of the same image, just with one without the flash and one with. I like to provide images with a flash because the flash provides a nice insight to the undertones of shades. So I do hope that that footage is helpful. Once we get through the swatch and comparisons, I will come back later on this evening, do my 12-hour check-in, and I will jump into all the thoughts that I have on this foundation, good and bad, because I definitely do not feel like this foundation is going to work for everyone. So that's it for this check-in. I will see you guys all in my final thoughts. So I'm back to do my 12-hour check-in. I do apologize for the audio. For some reason, this lapel mic that I'm using on my vlogging camera didn't seem like it was working on one side. Like, I don't know. Anyways, so we'll just do this one quite quickly. But right now it is 10 p.m. at night. So I've officially had it on for 12 hours. Let's go ahead and zoom in, kind of inspect the skin, kind of go over what we're seeing, and then I'll go ahead and turn on my other camera and do better audio, and we'll jump into my final thoughts. So we're going to zoom here on the forehead. Obviously you can see I am so shiny, and you can see that little spot right here where I touched my face, totally pulled away. I've lost a lot of the coverage right along here. I got a zit right here I need to get rid of. Around the nose, it seems like it held up fairly well around the nose. It seems like it held up okay along like the bottom part, but definitely the T-zone, I am just a shiny mess, right? Yeah. Okay. I have a lot to say about this foundation. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my other camera, and we're going to jump into my final thoughts. Okay, so I went ahead, turned on my other camera, put my vlogging camera up. My hair looks lopsided, so I pulled my hair up out of my face because I just couldn't take it anymore, and my bun is completely lopsided. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this foundation. So you've probably gathered that this is not my favorite foundation for multiple reasons. Number one, I do not like how shiny this is. Now, yes, I'm not wearing any powder like I've mentioned throughout the entire video. However, even when I powder this, I get quite shiny. And so I would never claim that this is a 24-hour wear, like transfer proof, none of that. And in fact, in my personal opinion, this foundation does not wear anywhere near like a matte foundation. Not that I like matte foundations, but the claims are it's that luminous matte, No, this is a very hydrating foundation. It likes to lift from the skin. Here's the thing. every single time I've worn this, it looks so beautiful when I first apply it. I love the finish of it. It looks so luminous and it looks really pretty. It blends into the skin. I just love the way it looks. 4 to 5 hours in, I start to look more glossy, more greasy, more and it's not a pretty look. And what's interesting is the Makeup by Mario foundation, which is the one that I have pretty much been wearing nonstop since I reviewed that foundation. That's the Surreal foundation, I believe. Anyway, that foundation is quite hydrating, and it's described as a hydrating foundation, but it does not make me look like this foundation does. So I'm not sure what the deal is. I'm very curious to hear everybody's opinion on this. I don't know if everybody's having the same experience I am. I haven't watched any reviews of this foundation. Typically, I don't. Typically, when I'm reviewing a foundation, I like to keep my thoughts and my opinions my own. Sometimes it can affect the way I start to feel about it or whatever. So I don't watch anybody else's reviews or videos or anything. So I'm curious to see if anybody else has had that experience. Here's the thing. There's good and bad. So it's a fantastic medium coverage. Right off the bat, it blends beautifully. You don't need a lot. That's one thing I would not recommend, is applying a lot. Here's the thing, because if you get heavy-handed with this, because I've been heavy-handed with it. If you get heavy-handed with it, you think this looks bad and the like touching the forehead and having it pull away is bad. Wait until you've applied too much. It is straight up gross. So I do not recommend using very much of this foundation, but it applies so beautiful. And I gotta fix this. Like, my hair is so lopsided. It looks so flawless and really luminous, but it does set down as you're applying it, which is nice. But boy, as those natural oils start to come through, it's a mess. Now, I have worn it with the Tatcha Silk Canvas. Hot mess. That I didn't love. That was probably the worst day that I had with it. I've tried it with my Tom Ford mattifying primer, and that was okay. But the problem with this foundation over top of that primer is I kind of felt like it didn't really blend very well over top of that mattifying primer. So like when I was blending it out with a brush and kind of smoothing it in, I had some splotchy spots. Like I had some little spots that just really wouldn't stick to the skin. So I didn't really love that. I've tried the Milk Grip Primer, which was a really pretty decent day with that one. I felt like the foundation didn't get so like kind of pulling away from the skin. I felt like it adhered to the skin better with the Milk Makeup Grip Primer. But overall, I personally do not like this foundation and do not recommend it. However, if you have dry skin and you're looking for that really luminous glow, you might like this. But you kind of need to know that going into it. It's kind of depending on what you're looking for. For me personally, just on a personal level, this foundation starts to look awful and does not look skin-like. I have skin tints that are quite glossy that look better than this throughout the day. It's because this almost starts to look a little greasy and a little faded and a little, I don't know. I just do not like the way this foundation wears at all. So those are my overall thoughts. I'm so curious to hear. I know that we're all so different when it comes to complexion products. Have you guys tried this foundation, and what is your experience? Because I am so curious to hear how everyone is feeling about this. This is just a total no-go for me. I don't know that I'll ever use this foundation after this video. That's how much I dislike it. I've probably used this foundation 7 to 10 times. And there's only been maybe one day that I've been like, oh, okay, maybe you're not as bad as I think you are. But all the other days, it's just been bad. So you pretty much have to chalk it up to this foundation is just not for me, right? So I'm really curious to hear. Sound off down below. Let me know your experience with this foundation, especially if it differs from mine, because that's always really helpful to hear both sides of the conversation, because complexion products are so different and vary based on individual needs and wants and skin concerns and all of that. So definitely share with us in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.